did any of you see NBC's Attack on America? You know, they were doing direct from Islamabad. Anybody see that? Yeah, a few people. Do you remember seeing a guy called Peter Ford, one of these really good-looking, you know, gorgeous reporter people who, even though bombs are exploding, his hair is perfect? Did anybody see him? Well, I used to go out with him. I did. He's actually an Australian, but he's got an American accent because he used to live here. And so I'm thinking, I know, I'll email Pete and I'll ask him if they're going to use chemical warfare. And I want to read to you what he wrote, because even today it's still relevant when we're about to go into another orange alert. So I've said, Pete, are they going to use chemical warfare? He said, well, they could. They could do a lot of things.
But when you look at the statistics, we could all die in a car crash or a household accident or even a drive-by shooting before we're killed by a terrorist.
Their job is to make us terrified. Once we realize that we're mortal and that our main task is to make the most of the time we have, the leverage of terror is removed.
They're not afraid to die, and they plan to make the most of their dying. We too should not be afraid to die, but we should make the most of our living. Isn't that true? And that's really, don't clap because we haven't got too much time. That's really what it's about today. We're going to talk about living and leading out loud. Now, having said that, what was the number one thing that 9/11 taught us was important in life?
People go, trick question. No, of course. Somebody said family. Yes, it was family and connection. September 11th did not teach us that money, position, power, influence, and those sorts of things are what we're really living for. No, we're really living for connection. And it's taught us that we have to reconnect our heads with our hearts.
Now, most of you are leaders in this room, and you want to know that when you communicate concepts to people, you must use symbols, because people always remember symbols. So this is a bit corny, but just do it, okay? Can everybody hold up one hand and spread your fingers out? Now, everybody, and if the person next to you is not doing it, help them by going like this really hard, okay? Now, what's between your fingers? Space, very good. What's meant to go in that space?
Jewelry, yes. Yeah. Whenever there's a lot of women, the correct answer is jewelry and large diamonds. But apart from the jewelry, what else is meant to go in there? It's other fingers. So I want you to connect your head with your heart in a symbolic way by connecting your fingers together. Now, the other thing we're doing is reconnecting our hearts with other people's hearts. You know, it could be the RNs to the exhibitors or whoever it is that you're sitting next to, and hopefully it's someone you don't know. Because I want you, we've done it once, but we're going to do it with real feeling now as well. I want you to link your fingers with the fingers of the person next to you. And do it with some kind of feeling, okay?
Would you try to look happier? Look, some of you are sitting there going, oh, how long do we have to do this?
I'm sure their hands are clean. Particularly in your profession, okay? Oh, look, some of your faces, it's like, oh, I hate this.
Scientific evidence to show that people, this is true, who are disconnected from others and disconnected from themselves die earlier of all causes. All causes. Doesn't matter what it is. If you're disconnected, you'll die of it. So, on the count of 3, with feeling, because we're connecting heart to heart, you are going to look at your new best friend on one side and then the other, and you are going to say, thank you for helping me live longer. Thank you.
So 1, 2, 3, go. Thank you for helping me live longer. Thank you for helping me live longer. Oh, that's beautiful. Now you can make it.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that. Now listen, in terms of content, it has to be relevant and up to date. And so I do a lot of research to stay up to date. And I also do a very detailed briefing with you before the event to make sure it's completely customized for your needs. Now, just as a comedian has many pieces of material from which he or she can mix and match and pick and choose, depending on the outcome they want and depending on how the audience reacts, I too have a database of information from which I can mix and match to make sure that I'm reacting appropriately to the group and at the same time fulfilling your outcomes and needs. And you know, a lot of people might look at my content and think, well, it's a bit of fluff, but you know, many companies employ me for very serious circumstances. For example, when there's cultural clashes following a corporate merger, if there's a new CEO and he's incorporating a whole lot of changes and dramatically altering everything, if there's a stressful time, if there's fragmented teams, they call me in, and it has a pretty profound effect to get them to get over the problems that they're experiencing. But you know, whether it's a difficult situation or whether you just want to motivate and educate a group, whether you want to pull a team together and connect them, have them working better than they were before, whether you want to improve their sales, customer service or leadership skills, or if you just want to kickstart the conference on a huge high or send them home feeling fabulous, then you can feel confident that the content we come up with will be very relevant for your needs. Now, in terms of process, the process is what goes on behind the content. It's how it's delivered. It's the magic that integrates the group. I've spent 15 years studying group dynamics to help us make sure that we can get, thousands of people connected and acting as one. It generates such a buzz that people walk out and say, "Oh, that was the best presentation we've ever been to." And you know what? That buzz lasts. And at the end of the conference, they end up saying, "It was the best conference we've ever been to." And I look pretty corny some of the time because I have ears on and other stuff. But I do that because it's a very sophisticated and elegant way of looking at how people learn and using symbols for right brain memory and adult learning. And I do that because I'm a very serious professional speaker and I take my profession very seriously. So I look like I'm having fun, and I am. And I look a bit silly, but I'm not. I'm very professional because I want to get the messages we need to get across to them, through to them, so you get the results that you need.